Hi, this is Monday, June 7th. This is the first session, first class for the summer training for the University of Minnesota Shotokan Karate Club. I'm Dave Gimberline. So far we only have one student, and he hasn't been around for a year or two. So hopefully more will come, and if not, Wednesday, Friday, or Wednesday more people will come. Anyway, train along. Thanks. So, memorization tradition, you over here. First we'll sit and say that. Left leg first. There you go, good job. Sit up straight. We're going to do a mock so, which you close your eyes, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. So! Hey, shoulder, hey. Oh, we must bother each other. Well, they go, hey. Good job. Stand up. And let's see. You can all be over here. I'll be over here. We're gonna warm up a little bit. Pick up one foot. Go around with your ankle and toes. Switch other way. Other foot, other way. Feet together, on your knees, other way. Feet apart, around with your hips. Switch. Use your legs, hold your arms around. Your new belt looks great. Switch, right? You like it a lot better? Yeah. Cross. Twist. Kick up your heels. I have not been stretching much, and my training has been hit and miss over the last 2 or 3 weeks. So. Put one leg in front, swing your back leg up to your hands. 1, swing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Switch feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put your feet about hip distance apart. Let's squat all the way down. Put your hands on the floor, straighten your legs. Squat, straighten, squat, straighten, squat, straighten, and squat. Keep it out. Down and forward. Back. Forward. Back. Forward. Back. Reach over one shoulder. Switch. Side. Switch. Around. Switch. And stop. Let's turn and face this way. Twist. Okay. So here you're stretching out your ankle a little bit, kind of push back into your heel, stretching out your front of your thigh, but really try to get to your psoas muscle. Switch. Stretching deep. Follow your foot, drop your hip, reach up, twist, over your shoulder, touch your head on the floor. foot or the floor. Reach and back. Reach, back, reach, back, reach, back, reach, back, and reach. Switch to your other hand. Reach, back, reach, back, reach, back, reach, back, one more. Reach. Switch. Away. Switching. Foot, drop your head, jump, the arms, squeeze your shoulder blades together, twist over your left shoulder, touch your head to the floor by your front foot, and pick up, reach down with your left hand, exhale each time, reach, back, reach, back, reach, back, reach, back, and reach. Switch the other hand. Reach, back, reach, back, reach, back, and reach. Keep it up. Straighten one leg. Switch. Switch a little deeper. Switch. 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 Switch and drop down. Switch. 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 Rotate all the way over. Stretch the outside of your thigh. So you'll go back with the mirror. And back. Next swing. Over. Can you go further so the outside of your thighs come to the ground? Back. Over. Back. And switch. Over to the side. All the way over. Stretch the outside of your thigh. Back. Over. Back. Over. Back. Over. And pull your feet in squatting. Tree, that's Yufeng tree. Yeah. There used to be 2 trees. Yeah, it's what are the odds? Put your legs out behind you. And push it back. Touch your chest to the floor. Forward again. Pull your feet in. Squatting. Straighten your legs and switch down. Roll up. Roll your hips. Switch. Side. Squeeze one knee into your chest. Switch. 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 Reach around behind. Go. Switch. Switch. And switch. She got the legs. Turns your uniforms. So, I think that we will, nobody's on Zoom yet, start with just basic stuff and see how much you remember. You didn't take a whole lot of classes, did you?
Finished the first half of the
All right. Well, feet together, apart. wrist. Elbows in with your palms up. Roll your fingertips in so they touch the pads of your hands. Roll that in more. Put your thumb over at least just your first knuckle. Could be two, but I've been going with just one more lately. Put both hands out in front, but do not turn them all the way over. This tends to lift your shoulders up and lock your elbows out. I'd rather have you have your shoulders down, be a little more, that's better. You're going to pull your left hand back, leave your right hand out. Then you're going to imagine punching from your center as you exchange your arms slowly. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Punch just a little lower. And 7. Here, just pop your elbow up. 1, better. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Count the arms. Switch. And try again. Try to keep your structure straight and tall. You're doing really good on that. Try to feel like your center is just slightly forward towards the target, not neutral, and definitely not backward back here. You want your weight forward, maybe towards the balls of your feet, not in between and not under your heels. A little bit more forward. Then as you punch, you can overemphasize this elbow, brushing your side here and brushing your side here. So absolutely, you got this far, nope, up, and then it started to twist. So left hand out, right hand to your side, brush your elbows. 1, squeeze. 2, 3, it's much better. 4, push forward here. 5, 6, 7. So if this weight is on your feet, there you go. This weight. Oh, it's not making it to your feet. Better. 1, 2, shoulder down. 3, 4. Can you feel how the whole thing kind of goes forward? 5, 6, 7, 8. Pull a little more. 9, 10. Throw out the arms again. Switch. Away. This is your first class wearing a black belt, huh? Congratulations. So, my first black belt was just black like that. And after a year or two, I switched it for one that had letters on it that said traditional Japanese karate, like Weaponization used to write in our exposure. And then that completely wore out. And by the time I got signed on 6 or 8 years later, 6 years I guess, they gave me, it was kind of a gift, but I got another one that said traditional Japanese karate, and it was more like this, where the letters didn't go all the way through. The ones that go all the way through are kind of cheap, and I can't imagine the symbol makes sense backwards. But then, when I wore that belt to a frazzle, I got a different one. And as you know, this says Shotokan on it, which is my self-defense system. And so maybe someday you can get one like that. Oh, I have to do a video. Somebody asked a question. So towards the end of today, you can hold the camera, and I can stop him on the floor. That would be really helpful. Feet together, left hand out, right hand to your side. This time, imagine your feet are starting the action and you're throwing from your legs to the target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. 8, 1, 8, 1, oh, 8, 1, oh, 8.
mask is too much.
No, it's hard with a mask. We trained for a long time. They tested the mask on. It's all sweaty and wet. Harder! Let's back up a couple steps. We're going to try moving forward. So we're going to step forward with our left arm, left leg, going downward block. So your left hand is going to come up by your ear or your shoulder, and then who's teaching, while this one extends. And you're going to step out and twist your hip, in and badai, downward block. So step forward with your left hand, left leg, downward. Right? We're going to step forward and punch. Your body's going to be straight by the time you get there, and your hand just punches towards the end. So not 1, 2. Kind of, so it almost beats your foot. 1, sooner. You, or sooner. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn. Back leg over. Turn. Yep. There you go. Both of them stand up for just a second. So can you hold this for a moment? Just stand there and put it on your chest. So right now, the way you were punching, 1, and a lot of the world does that. And it has the advantage of being very stable when you get there. But moving forward is like the secret to hitting hard and penetrating. So instead of 1, 2, try to hit it while you're still moving now, and the energy will go. So it's a little uncoordinated. This is easy. This is harder. This is harder still. But they're all good punches. So punch sooner when your body's still moving. And stay, keep your legs bent a little bit, stay down there. Left leg forward, down block. Step and punch. Boys. 1, 2 leg. And release up. So push through. You. 3. Way too low. 4. Okay. Put your arm in. Put your foot back. Stop. About there. Okay. There's your hand. You're almost done punching. But not yet. You're going to finish your step way out here and punch. 2. Hey, better. Your body moved and that movement. 2 counts. 3/4 of the way through. 1. Second punch. Heel up. And finish your punch. 2. Relax and move. 1, 2. Moving the second half of the motion. So the feet, and don't you worry. So we're going to do 2 counts. One's just past halfway. 1. Stop. And then 2. You block. Hold this. You can see it. 1, 2. No. 1. Almost. 2. 2. Same time. So if 1 count, punch, so that my body's still moving when I get there, not, and no matter. So, I bet you were taught to punch that way, and it's hard to change. And generally, if I tell you hit me, just hit me. Don't be so careful. It is karate after all, right? There's an interesting, I had to read the bylaws of how to properly conduct a rec sports activity. One of the rules in there is not to strike your students or participants. And then it says, beyond the norm of the sport. So if you were teaching boxing, or I said they had no teaching students in there, and then it was like, well, what about boxing? What about this? What about, so They put that in there, we can hit each other as long as you call it karate, as long as that's the norm of what we do. Anyway, left leg forward a couple more times. One punch, all the way through. 1, 2, 3. Last one was very nice. Turn. Hang on for a second. I do want to explain this. Around the world, they break things into 2 counts. They go 1, 2. Everybody does. All of Shotokan, all of Japanese karate, most of Okinawa karate. I changed it, even though I learned that. Because people get this far and they take a break. And then they say 2, and by then you've forgotten what foot was supposed to be moving. You screwed up all the time. So what I want you to do is move half, well, 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through to the point where you're committed. Like, oh yeah, I can go, I'm ready. 2, 5. So I'll never have you just stand. It'll always be kind of a 2, 5, you finish. In the case where we rotate, which is what we're going to do next with rising blocks, you go as far as you can till about now where you twist, and then the twist and the step are part of themselves. So again, it's not 1, 2. It's a stability point, twist. Try it. Agi rising block. Right? Left leg forward. Try stepping forward, rising. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try not to arch your back. So your stomach needs to be stronger. And tuck this part under a little bit. You can still be sideways. 1. Squeeze from here to here. 2. And these come together, even though you're towards the target. 3. Moving backward, let's try. Just stay here, reach with your foot. And then twist. 1, 2, 3, 4. Twist more. Awesome. You straighten your back out some. It can be even more so that there's like if there was a stick, you wouldn't want your tailbone sticking out. And stronger stomach. This is reinforcing your spine. Your back and your center both squeeze at the same time. And then it makes whatever you hit was strong. Just because it's already set to take a shot. 1, 2, that's good thinking. Got to twist sooner. 3, move forward, Sotuki, outside block. So the arm that's at your side is going to come up and the body twists. So there's a really good chance that you call this Uchuki, your inside block, because a lot of the world does. Shotokan, JKA Shotokan specifically, calls this an outside block and this an inside block. And you could argue all day, it doesn't matter. Just blocking from the outside instead of to the outside. There's good reasons to call them both that way. 1, coil twist. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, better, 7, too big of a windup, moving backwards, 1, 2, better, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are way better. See how they have kind of a purpose? So it is super common. How do you say that for a second? People get in the habit, can you stand here for a second? And you're going to step back outside block. I'll step forward. So I'm here. We go 1. Yep. People get in the habit of doing that. And they get too relaxed. You can do bigger coil. 3. There you go. Perfect. And then what happens, they're still coiling when this punch comes. So if somebody's going to hit you, this is not good. It is better. Just enough to let the punch in there, and then you cover. Floor is still sticky. Not as bad as it used to be, though. Questions? No? All right, we're going to try inside blocks. So, in the outside block, generally speaking, you end up with your fist, your hip elbow 1 or 2 distances from your hip. This is about shoulder height. So it's starting higher, going lower. The inside block ends up in exactly the same place. It just comes from in here and then goes up. So you can move the punch. Left leg forward, downward block. If I was going to do an outside block, twist. Cue. Twist. Mostly I want my body out of the way, and that just covers. As opposed to problem. That's why we twist. If I'm doing an inside block, just comes from the inside out. But I still have my distance as I move. And I want to make myself as small of a target as possible. This makes it way harder to cover. For any of these, you want to turn sideways. Assuming it's a block. If it's a strike, sometimes it's different. If it's a throw, a lot of times it's different. So, if he was punching at me and I said, oh yeah, I'm going to step forward and block it. First of all, that's a hard thing to imagine, that he would punch there, and my best option would be to step forward. I mean, that's just kind of silly. So then it ends up that the punch comes, and your wind-up covers, and that hits. Now that's a strike. I happen to be sideways. Put your other knee in front, just for a punch. 1, 2, 3. Still sideways. And then I can twist to punch. But, I can switch feet again. If you threw this punch, and I went 1, 2, there's a good chance my hip would be straight, because now it's a throw. So it could be a block, it could be a strike, it could be a throw, and my body would be different each time depending on what I thought I was doing. Does that make sense? It's true for most blocks, most things we call blocks. Could be a block, could be a strike, could be a throw. Could be multiple tricky things. Anyway, inside blocks. Uchu. Right, left leg forward again, but it's fine. You're going to coil your right arm underneath and come across. 1. Yep. 2. 3. So a lot of times here they used to say elbow to elbow. Boom, pull across your back. Yep. But your front still has to be strong to support it, and you can't hunch. 1. Much better. Shoulder down. 2. 3. Also interesting to know, keep on. If I'm doing an outside block, you're doing an outside block. No, just like that, just stay there. Same position. This will stay there. No, you stay strong. Strong, so I can't hit you. Strong. Pull. Pull across your stomach. Pull hard. There you go. That's strong, right? Super strong. If it's an outside block, 2 fingers, try to push this way. Doesn't work as good. There's not any leverage there. But this is fantastic for shot. You can, zip right across. So they have a different purpose too. This is always stronger or naturally stronger. This is naturally zippier, naturally more shot. So it actually, if you've got somebody really driving in there, not your best option. You're better off getting it out there far and covering it more of a outward strike, outward block, rather than saying, oh no, it's an inside block. This won't take the shot. Whereas your outside block it so I don't hit it. That's super strong. Don't do something knocked over you. Oh. better. You see what I mean? No, it's structurally just stronger. So it turns out all actions, all stances have, all techniques have strengths and weaknesses. So if you critique any one and say, oh, that's not as strong as this, well, that's true, but it works here and it doesn't work there. It's a different thing. All right, now let's put our left leg forward. We'll go backwards inside block. 1, yep, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't wind up. See out here? Just come across and out there. Don't let it go and then wind up. 1, 2. Better. So this one was letting go and then going. Your other one didn't do that so much. It did this more. Hey, so far, all the blocks and the punches we did were in front stance. That's a front stance, that's a front stance, that's a front stance, and that's a front stance. Now we're into a back stance. They have back stances in Shito-ryu, but they're different than ours. So, we both, Shito-ryu and Shotokan, have cat stances. I believe Shito-ryu also has an extended cat stance, they call it back stance. And they have one of these, they call it back stance. Our back stance is kind of like this, but you put your heel down. So, they say the weight distribution is 70-30, but it absolutely evolved from this, and then the mix of kata, they just kind of stuck it in there. For many things, it works better with your front heel up. There's more shock. This is more stable. Depends on what you need. Do you remember the back stance? All right, we will stay here and practice for a little bit. We'll do the knife and block at the same time. So put your right foot this way, put your left heel in front. Put your right hand out, put your left hand up by your jaw. So you're standing this way. You're going to step out with your left leg and block, but you're not going to let your weight travel forward. You stay here, not out. 1, then pull back. 2, then pull back. 3, pull back. 4. A tiny bit more towards the middle, just a little bit like that. Enough that it feels awkward, just like that. So this will start to cover your head and your body. The more you get out here, problem, not covered, not covered. When you use it as a block, as much straight up and down as you can be, which makes this feel like really weird. This feels better. This is more effective though for blocking. If I use it for a strike, so if I use it for a block, it goes in here. If I use it for a strike, it changes here. Elbow up, so again. Hey, stand up. Left foot this way, right foot this way. Take your left, bring your right up by your jaw or shoulder. Step out with your left and block. 1, back. 2, back. 3, back. 4, back. Okay? So where this comes from, rest for a second, is if you come close, try to punch at my head, that's a flinch. That's you pick your hands up because you don't want to get hit, you put your weight on your back foot. That is the beginning of many actions, but especially this knife hand block back stance. So if this is automatically my flinch, this just takes a little bit of training to use as a defense. Your hand and foot are generally quick. Your body weight is a little slower. So this actually has a higher success rate than thinking, oh, I'm going to step in, and by the time you step, you kind of already got a couple of shots in. Just kind of stick your foot out there. It's working. So we're going to move forward, do knife hand blocks. We're going to do them in 2 counts. You're going to start here. As you move forward, you extend this, and you pull up to here. So here you're kind of in a cat stance. Both knees pulling in, both elbows pulling in. Then you pull down with your front heel So we'll always be kind of 1, 2. And you want to maintain your balance. So if you find yourself going 1, that means too many things bent and moved. You just want to stay together. Should be very smooth. Oh, feet apart. Left hand, left leg forward, right hand walk. Right? Moving forward. Back sense? So this knee goes out to the side, this one goes forward. Forward, just past halfway. 1, squeeze, elbows in, knees in. 2, hold out. 1, elbows in, knees in. 2, hold out. 1, 2, 1. We'll squeeze the knees in. This way, up. Elbows in. Ew. 1, squeeze. Ew. 1, 2. We're going to try backwards. This one's a little tougher. Leave this foot where it is for now. Reach backwards with this one. So you're not going to go very far. I'll tell you why. For right now, just go 1, squeeze. Now you're going to twist into your back foot and let your front foot turn. 2. Reach. 1. Elbows together, knees together. 2. 1. 2. 1. 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good job. Moving forward 1 count. Try to get your body to squeeze and then go. Come in and out. Your knees come in, your elbows come in, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Moving backwards. Same deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. All right. That is all of the blocks and 2 of the stances. So, good job so far. Any questions about stuff we just went over? All right. Kicking. I teach this all the time, so we'll do it this way to start with. It's Ufon's favorite thing. When you kick, you're going to hit the ball of your foot and a front sand kick, also a roundhouse kick. So tap that part on the ground so you know where it is. And then do 2 taps on the ground, and then you kick the back. So you go tap, tap, kick. Again, tap, tap, kick. There you go. Put 1 foot slightly in front. You're going to use your back leg. Tap, tap, kick. Tap, tap, kick. Switch feet. Tap, tap, kick. Tap, tap, kick. Pretty good. You can bend your support leg more, which is a hard thing to understand. Good job. You were standing up also. So it's super common when you kick with this leg to start to straighten this one. The more it straightens, the less control you have of your balance. So Nisham used to come and say, maximum bend. And I'd be like, yep, that's it right there. That's what boom, 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 boom. It bends a lot, and it is miserable. But then you can use it to kick. You can use it to switch directions. You're standing on one leg, you're just teeter-tottering. So this is true of all kicks and all stances. A little more bend, a little soften the joints, and you'll be able to learn quicker. That being said, there are very advanced people that straighten up one leg and kick with the other. And I don't know what to tell them except they were talking. So what is true, what I have noticed, is In the olden days, before my time, there wasn't a lot of instruction. There was a lot of doing. Do this, do this, do this, do this. In Japan and in the United States. And what would happen is out of the thousands of people that started, a handful would figure out how to do it good. And they'd get promoted. They'd be the masters, the instructors. But they didn't know how to tell people what to do either. It was more just a matter of keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, you'll get it. And it kind of feeds back into the old Zen Buddhism of, enlightenment will come. If you just do it enough, do it long enough, dedicate yourself more. But you know what? If you just tell somebody to start with, then they have a much better starting spot. I still think people should train hard, but I try to tell them things they need to know for brown belt, black belt, advanced concepts, because otherwise you develop a bad habit to start with. So there are lots of things that I tell people that I don't expect you to be able to do, and yet I've been remarkably surprised. Some people can do it very well. Can you go over this way just a little bit? So the next part about this kick is that it is a snack kick. And the whole idea there is you're making a wave with your hip and center, and on that wave, this leg is going to ride. It's going to go out for your kick. So to learn this, which some people call a pendulum position, and other people insist upon telling you it's a reverse pendulum because you're attached at the bottom and not at the top. And they are correct, but it doesn't matter, you're still swing your hip back and forth. Grab your knee and rock back and forth. You want your hip to be level, and you want your knee to be stationary. Rock, rock, rock. Switch, other way. And then bend your sport leg. Rock, rock, rock. So the important leg is going to be the one on the ground, almost always. Even though you have to teach the kicking leg what to do, there's real power, real control. Do 2 rocks and a kick. So you're going to go rock, rock, expand and contract. Just let it go out and back. Oh, you were so close. I thought you had it. Too hard. Let's try it. 2 rocks and a nothing kick, like you don't care about it. Rock, rock, kick. Better. Other foot. Rock, rock, kick. Other foot. Rock, rock, kick. All right. Let's try that. I will tell you this too. Can you put your right leg in front for a second? My position when I get there for the kick, I don't want to be standing up like this because I have no penetration power. I want to get my hip in front of my foot, and this, so you go into too much detail, is still not enough because I have no power. If he pushes against me, I've got nothing. I don't have any stability. And I can fix that. So right now, this is activated. I have to activate this part. I want this part to dig underneath, so when he pushes, I got some stability driving under. Bad? Good. Super normal. Bad. You can hurt somebody, but you don't have the drive, you don't have the penetration, you ultimately won't have the balance, as if you get the bottom half of your leg to work. So that is a longer term goal, and we'll work on it a different day. If you remember it, it will help. Stances too. This is already strong. You need to make this part strong. Whoa! So that goes through the target. So this isn't quite what we're doing, but if you put one foot in front, and I put my hand here, and you push on me, push me over with your body, push even through the ocean. A little shorter. Okay, push me over. Almost. There you go. Okay, right? So that's me activating the top part. I'm going to try to activate the bottom part. So you start to push, you push harder, 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 harder. As long as I keep a channel underneath, I'm fine. So work on that. Grab your leg, swing 2 times, kick the back. Swing, swing, kick. Other foot. Swing, swing, kick. I know, balance. Swing, swing, kick. Good job. A little harder. Swing, swing, kick. Feel the little bit where you bounce off the back? Try to get rid of that. Just in. Moving forward. We're gonna, let's see how we can do this. We're gonna do a front snap kick moving forward. So what I want you to do is put a lot of weight on your front leg. So this leg is light. You're going to coil your heel to your butt, snap kick, and then step forward. So I want to do 2 counts. We're going to go 1, expand your track, 2, step forward with complete total control. Let's see how that goes. Left leg forward, put a lot of weight on. 1, snap, hold, 2. Now, put a lot of weight on your front leg. 1, snap, hold, 2. Down. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Arms in front. 2, 1. 2. 1. Forward, forward, forward more, forward more. Your head. Okay, that's better. 2. So that was a very small change. 1, 2, 1. So don't let your head crunch. 2. If somebody's in front of you and you dip your head every time you kick, they're just going to start to smash it. You want to, your legs are longer than your arms. So by the time you get to me, put your foot here, you want your head to be out of my range. Right? So it's a reason to keep your head back just a little bit. It's also a balance problem though. If I keep this here, which is what I want, and I kick, it's easy to get this in front. If I do this, it's a counterbalance. My hip doesn't want to go. So I'm not telling people to lean backwards, but it might feel like that at first. Turn! Other way. Front snap kick moving forward. Comes up. 1. Awesome. 2. So, if I'm like this, and I move forward, my hands are going to trade places because my hips do. But I don't really go, I don't do that. I just, as I kick, they're going to float with my hips in case I need them for some blocking, punching. You have a habit right now of, go to the rope. Hey, arms up. 1, awesome. 2, awesome. 3, 4, 5. Turn. High up for a second and rest. So, for a long time now, I've been training in my living room, or UFO comes to my work and I have a big room. But this is just so much nicer. We have a wood floor and big, isn't it? It just feels better. So the kicks go better, the kata will go better. So I think we'll stop with basics for a moment. We'll take a 5-minute break. If you want to go to the bathroom or get a drink, and then we'll start again. So thank you. Your kicks got way better and your arms got way better. Didn't even have to smack it. Alright. You're fine. We'll do a little more, let's go down our clock. So, facing me. mistake that a lot of the karate makes is that it's against karate attacks from this incredible distance. So he would do a step and punch, I would step forward, and I had to follow him. So when would that ever happen, really? So I try to do it against the most common, most likely attacks. He's probably very close, probably going to throw a punch at me. This is my cover, moving forward, strike, strike. That's the same position, just used differently. I think they avoided teaching that to the public and the children, and it got lost along the way, and then they developed kumite, which is, I love kumite, but it's artificial. It's not that good for that much stuff. If somebody says, I'm going to come over there and kick your ass, and he's this far away, good information to have, right? So now, as he comes forward, you got a good shot at taking this guy out before he gets to you. But if your whole life you practice going 1, 2, and the attack starts here, and he still got me, and I can't get out, it doesn't work as much. So I don't think that's what that was meant for. So anyway, let's do some kata. Hand Shotokan, start. Everybody move forward a little bit. That's it. Do you remember hand Shotokan? Alright, it's in the shape of the capital letter I. Out, hand Shotokan. The same as Inan, if you ever did that. Alright. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. 1, 2, 3. Knife head blocks. 1, 2. 1, 2. Alright. Well, how do you go? You seem to follow along pretty good. Alright. So, this is an exercise we do quite often. I'm going to hold the bag. You guys are going to hit the bag. But for demonstration purposes, you're going to hold it for just a second. So there we go. Okay, I'm going to hit this. Keep your stomach strong. If you want to turn your hip or something into it, you can. So this is like if you wind your hip up and you unwind, like maybe you're doing this arm motion at the beginning of class. Your arms are relaxed except you make a fist. And when I twist my hip, just let my hand fall against the bag. So people get too excited about this. And they go, and it just doesn't have any penetration to it. So I want to start as kind of a dead arm, and I want it to penetrate. You can feel? So, and I do it by trying way less hard. I don't try so hard. So the tension screws you up. You have to consciously relax your shoulder, activate the bottom part of your arm, and then use your torso. So this is kind of the secret to all blocks, all punches in karate. Use your leg or your body. It's not this part. Okay? If you're ever holding the bag and it's too much, you should say so. If it's me or a partner, especially you get a big bruiser guy who loves pounding on it, you don't have to take those. To a certain extent, it toughens you. After that, it damages you. So you just have to pick, what do you think is worthwhile? And also keep in mind for your partner, if they happen to be very small, very thin, you can't pound on them like you're going to get to pound on you fun, or somebody even larger. They can take a little more just because they have more mass. So anyway, Tariq, stand there. Face that way. You want to stand there. I'm going to hold this here back. A little closer. You thumb first. Wind up, swing. Tariq, wind up, swing. way, way better. I was just about to tell you to put your shoulder down, but your body hit way better. Shoulders down. Breathe all the way down to your feet. Good. So Yufan has only been doing this particular thing for, I don't know, a few months. Couple. Not that long. And when he first started, he didn't do a lot better than you. And can you feel how heavy it is when he hits right now? So wind up, swing. Without trying very hard. You try. Wind up, swing. Down in your shoulders. Go. Go. Better. Go. Go. That was good enough. Switch sides. Tariq, wind up, swing. Yufan, wind up, swing. Hey, that was good. That was okay. That was good. Good. Good job. So this side's coming a lot better for you. You have still just a little bit too much tension here. Try to squeeze it down into your center, down to your tummy, and down into your feet. But your whole body is moving as a unit really well. You from? Too much shoulder. Too much squished. Stay straight. That was actually better. That was tight. That was tight. Almost. You squeezed before you got there and it wrecked it. Stay straight and tall like you don't care. Yeah, that's better. Shoulders down. Better. Down to your feet. Excellent. Stop on that one. That was your best one. That was fantastic. So try to remember how that feels. And as hard as it is against the bag, it's way worse without the bag. Groin coming across somebody's head or neck. Big swing. So it is possible, face that way, stand like this, that the first idea is you're downward blocking against a kick. That's possible. But your timing's got to be good. You got to figure out how to fit in there. That's what they teach, or against a step and punch. And the power that you just did against the back, that will help with that. So it works for blocks too. But I have applications that are a little different than this particular one that I start people with. A competent attack, big person against small person, somebody's going to come up and start walking and say, hey buddy, what are you doing? You're going to wind up and swing down into the groin. And you wouldn't think this would work, but it does. And there is a secret to it, and that is don't try right away. Take a step or two. So if right when I touch him, if he's going to resist, that's what I think. So I grab him, he starts, oh, I got him. I know he's fighting me. But if I go a step or two, I figure, oh, okay, whoa, and then I don't know that that's coming. So the attack, I'm attacking you. Let's see, does your left hand first. Attack him, hey, what are you doing? Wind up. That was terrible. Wind up. So here, you try it for my side. So you're gonna walk me. Grab my arm, walk me. Oh, whoa. You don't even know it's coming. You're still thinking, I have to hang on to that, and then this is coming back. And you get to cover your groin this way, in case my aim is bad. You got me, you're pushing. Walk me, up. They wind up, cover your groin back. Just in case. Don't do no balls. So you brace your hand against your pelvic bone or your hip. So like Keki or any of the Nyanchis. Point your fingers. Put your fingers. No. If it's out, you put your thumb. Put it against your thigh. Again, squeeze against your Squeeze my hand. Squeeze it. Like that. Hit me. Now, harder. If I do this, and you hit me, just let the building groin. This is true of many things. So a super vulnerable spot on your body, the groin, that's why they attack it all the time. All these downward blocks, all of these are just bad groin. I didn't used to think that, it took me a long time, but that's what it is. Other vulnerable point is up here on your neck, super vulnerable, chopped right across here. Everybody knew that. Whoa, whoa. So there used to be kata, still are occasionally, where your hand is there. This is protecting your neck. So if I keep chopping on you, even for practice, it gets old right away, right? Say, oh, that sucks. So you put your hand here, open, flat. Now, here's the deal. You have your hand on your neck, it's still just going to hit you. That's worse. Pull it on your collarbone, squeeze it down hard, just like that, hard. There you go. So now I have something to hit. We can both practice. It could have been a block. I could have gone for it. Your hand is like, I had it up even there. Drop your chin a little bit, so I'll cover your jaw too. So we have kata. That's in there. You used to have kata. That was in there. In modern day, this has become this. It silly is. But the idea that you're covering your head or your neck, that's still a thing. In kumite, we prefer to move. Anyway, can you come back to this idea for a second? Let's say you're facing that way, and I'm attacking you. You're going to pull, hit, with a little more oomph. Pull, hit. Better. Relax your shoulders. And in the kata, you don't go over here, you go that way. So try to match the step a little bit better. Pull, in. Shoulders down, in, not back. In. Almost everything, if you throw a punch at me, and for right now, that stops me from getting hit, but it doesn't stop you from attacking. If you throw a punch again, decide to move in, it helps, that stops it better. I decide to move in this way, it stops it even more, it takes away your options. Almost all kata goes in, 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 in. Doesn't go back, 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 back. So that's what kumite would, they have you think of. So tree could be standing there. You face that way. What if we're on this? Pull, hit, and then the kata. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Could do that on both sides. Only does it on this side. Yep. So that's the other thing that's going to be hard to get used to. The idea of stepping through a person, but it's huge. So you punch this to your bag. Yep, do it again.
Did I take a step?
You can do it from there. Drive, yep, step through me. Try harder. Better. Do it again. Better. Whoa, better. Shoulders down, relax. Shoulders down. Step through. You'll get there. But it's a weird one. If you want to grab my arm, and I go 1, 2, every Shotokan person is going to go 3. Because that's our distance for a counter punching. But the kata doesn't, it steps. So as I step, I'm going to take his head with me and drive him as far as I can. And I would hit him, I pushed him now, but I would hit him. But literally, moving your match forward, that is the single most basic thing you can do. You can always punch faster, but if I do this and I step, it's stronger, it just is. Because your mass is moving at the time. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, but hit them on the way in. So quite often you step through the guy. Because most people are non-contact, they spend so much time trying to. If I didn't care about him, I don't have to adjust my feet. I just block it and step through him.
What we were saying before, is it on the way through or almost before we step down?
Depends on where he is. So, you phone again. Just stand there. Come this way. He could be at my perfect stepping punch distance. way, way close. He might be this close. I'm going to step. Drive through. He might be too far away. I can't get him. I'm going to drive. So I can decide I'm going to go 1, 2. I don't even care where he is. I just adapt to it on the way as I go. Too close, too far, too. Good question, though. Out. You come in a little bit. Hand shot out again. Out. Kata. Boy. That's your bag. 1. Let's start over. 1. Shoulders down. To your left. Back. Go back. 1. 1 more. 1, 2. One. Really? You had 6 feet, big giant spin. Go back. 1. Go back. 1. Spin. 2. Harder. Big. Whip. 3. Shoulders down. 1. Hit it. 3 rising blocks. I'm going to fit back for this. 1, 2, 3. Big whip. 1. Too late. 2. A little too late. We're way stronger. 1, 2. Shoulders down. 1, 1, 2, 3. This is getting way more assertive, way stronger. 1, whip it back. 2, 1, 2. Hey up. There it is. So almost always, hold this. If you do your arms too late, it kind of goes, and you missed the advantage of punching while you move. So it is often taught, very mechanical. Try to be softer, whippier, go, boom, go, boom, smoother. There are some times when working on the coil before you go has a purpose for body stability, for body dynamics, for attacking targets, but right now, mostly just whippier. So, here we go again. Out, you want to take 2 steps forward. And shut up. Up. Boy. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. 1, 2. 1, 2. Left hand's got issues. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Knock your shoulder. 1. Awesome. 2. Yep. Nice. Pretty good. Yeah, it happens a lot. So, this is in Kumite, it's a constant understanding of distance, timing, position. In self-defense, not so much. You just gotta hit the guy. You don't have to be perfect distance. You don't have to avoid hitting him. You don't have to give it. You just drive through him. Like, you know, he attacked you. What do you want? So the mentality is a little different. There are many things you can do with these moves, even the very simple ones. Throws, sweeps. The only thing I guess I want to go over right now, though, is using the rising block as a strike. So, if Yufeng starts close to me and throws a punch in my head, I'll cover him. Because you would, right? So don't get in the head. If I back up when he punches, it allows him to punch again and again. I mean, it's a losing battle, backing up. Sometimes you don't have any choice, that's the way it happens. But most kata step forward. So specifically, there are kata that go forward, 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 back. Because forward was successful, up didn't work, and then you get out of there because they're about to get hit. So that dynamic shows up in kata. What doesn't show up in kata is me switching my feet around and me. It's not tricky. The guy's trying to hit you, get him back. It's simple. So in this instance, he's going to throw the punch, cover it. I'm going to step forward here with my knee and rise up through here. So this hand covers, probably open hand, big gross motor movement. Then I'm going to slide down to here so that when I get to there, it's pulling. Then my knee comes in to hit, not on his knee, but about 3 fingers above his knee, mostly for his safety. And then my rising block goes up into the head. So that happens to fit the hand Shotokan. He punches at my head. I go 1, 2. That's what you do. The first time people see it in applied usually is a 1-step, like 4 down block, or sometimes a 3-step. And then you go 1, 2. But that's not in any kata. I know 30 kata, not one time you step backwards, rising block, and then counter punch. So people ask, why would you rising block counter punch? You get to turn. Or why does your hand do that at all? So some people decide the drawing arm is worthless, makes you exposed. They're going to do karate this way, like boxing. They're not wrong, but they gave it up before they understood what it was for. So if they want to give all that up, just learn kickboxing, learn a different style. Don't use the traditional motions. But where this came from, in my opinion, is he's grabbed me, he's going to hit me. I cover. I don't want to get hit, right? Better would be I step forward and cover. That messes up his head and protects me. He gave me this arm. Maybe I should use it. I'm going to pull down and back with it. So he's trapped. So he tries to throw the punch at me. I go, oh, got him. Where could I possibly punch from? Right here. Boom. Drop. 1, 2. And you step forward. We do that in a lot of kata. We never do this in a kata. So the way they try to apply it, I believe, is totally different than how it should be applied. 2 biggest problems are they try to apply it against a karate technique, which stepping punches, front kicks, highly unlikely to be attacked by a karate technique. Even today, when there are dojos on every other corner, there's movies, books, videos, much more likely for some guy to just come up and try to hit you. And in Okinawa, where it's taught in secret, it never happened. Unless some kind of challenge match was going on, it would just be some thug with a stick trying to hit you, and it would attack you. So, biggest mistake is applying against karate techniques instead of the most likely, most common techniques, which kind of results in distance. So if he's got a karate technique, he can get me from here. If he's on the street, he's highly unlikely to hit me unless he can touch me. That's the distance his arms are. So he might have pushed me first and then tried to hit me, because people do that. He might have grabbed me so I can't escape and try to hit me. Or he might have sucker punched me, like, what? One of those kind of things. So that's what I try to apply to you. So, as long as I get this far. I have to go teach a seminar in a couple weeks. And this isn't smooth. I haven't taught a seminar in 2 years. So, the three most common attacks are a single punch for the head this way. Whoa. It's not a punch from here. It's not a punch like this. It is more like somebody's just going to slap you, but they have a fist. So it's pretty direct, and it's got a little curve to it. It might happen that they wind up and go. That might happen. But number one attack is they try to punch you in the head with the right hand. Number two attack is a two-handed grab or a choke. And in karate, if you ask somebody to grab you, they come up and we don't like being close. But in the street or in reality, this is an intimidation. Who do you think you are? They're in your face. So the reason they say two-handed grab or choke is this and this is the same position, and both of them happen. There are variations that we'll get to later where it's one hand, because they're going to hit you. But the two-handed grab or choke we're talking about are here. The third most common attack is a tackle. And it is not a perfectly executed single leg takedown. It's more somebody jumping at you on the way down, right? So it's a tackle. And so karate, in my opinion, especially kata, should be applied against those three things first. And after that, you can worry about, well, what if he does a roundhouse kick with his left leg? Well, well, he might, but he's much more likely to just try to punch me than he is to do something like that. Unless I know he's in karate or the only exception to the things I told you, there's two exceptions. The first one is this hand. If you count that as the first attack, that's common. If you count that move, that's common. So a lot of the kata that do this are designed to mess in the hand. Grab or push. To mess with this hand. 1, 2, 3. Mess with that hand. Pull. Got it. Or pull, like I did before when he tried to punch me. You get to mess with that. The other thing that is not expressed enough is self-defense, and self-defense scenarios are different for everybody, every person, the situations you work in, you live in, whether you're male, whether you're female, whether you're large, whether you're hanging out in bars, whether you're, it's different. So, super common, the attack I showed you, where somebody comes up, this is super common, a guy against a woman, you do it all the time. Hey, come on, come over here. And they're like, what? And they can't struggle and know what to do. The same type of thing is if I'm being aggressive and she puts her hand up to defend herself, I'm like, become they just drag me, right? A guy almost never does this against another guy because he can pull his hand down, just down, and I can't hold him. He just pulls out of him. For a second, he might, because I'm trying to get at him. But not. Keep your hand up for a second. A guy comes up to a woman and does this all the time. Or to a little kid, you can think about that. He'll get over you, So they need defenses for that, or somebody being obnoxious, this kind of stuff. And you can say, oh, you hit him in the throat or the groin, but maybe that's not right. Maybe he's just a little drunk. Maybe he's misunderstanding the situation. You need techniques that work for this instance. And unfortunately, there's not all of them. I can't say, oh yeah, you're always going to do this when this happens. But there are many skills that we will learn. Regrabbing, that's handy. Regrab. That's just handy to know how to do. So every time he grabs, you can regrab it. Every time he touches or pushes on you, you can mess with the hand. Every time. Finger. It's a, yeah, it's a Masai kata. This is 1, 2. Is that what you think?
Yeah.
So if you grab her. No, 1, 2. That kind of a grab. So we'll work on stuff like that. Every time you ask something, I'm not going to hurt you. I'll try to work with what you're comfortable with. So, Yufeng is getting pretty tough. So I do this to him, it doesn't particularly hurt him. And there are many subtleties to techniques, and I guess this is a good example of Valid. If he grabs me and I grab him, and we are of the same strength, I don't have any advantage, right? So this is the type of defense that an instructor would teach to a student. Oh yeah, you're gonna do this. And the student eventually gets stronger than the teacher who ages, right? And so he gets real cocky, and he won't let you do it. And there's some parts you didn't teach him. You didn't teach him this bit, where I'm squeezing this nerve and I'm shortening this radius. Big difference. Little thing, but big difference. And that's in contact. That's why your hands are this way, or this way. So I grab you, you re-grab me and push me down like techie, or like that. But you have to push fingertips down. So I'm down here. He's winning. So techie knee down. Does this? Oh, no. Boom, boom. That defense. So there's lots of grappling, lots of trapping, lots of smashing. All within the realm of self-defense. We only have a few minutes left. I still wanted to do some of the rising block things. So you two together, I'm you right now. I'm gonna throw a punch at his head. Covers it. He's gonna step forward, touch his knee to my knee, rising block here, pull and push. Push. Yep, just like that. So I'm gonna stretch. Then you let go. Don't sit. I'm gonna punch with this hand. Up. You step forward. Pull. Go. Put it in swing feet. Let go. And this is just a drill to get people used to dealing with a punch and stepping forward. So stepping forward is huge for a number of reasons. This is one of the easiest ones to demonstrate. You grab my wrist and hang on. I pull it. That's instinctive. Everybody does it. You grab my wrist and hang on. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? You don't know what to do. Yeah. So there are many things in kata that work because they're the opposite of what you think is supposed to happen. I think I'm going to punch him in the head, and he's just going to fall down. He might block and try to hit me back. I don't expect him to move forward. No, you can do it right and block. I don't expect him to move forward. What? I can't even get him from here. So very few people can fight falling backwards. So anyway, keep people up here. Please follow each other. There you go. Here you come in closer. You put your left foot in front just because. Put your hands up. Really attach. Closer, 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 closer. You're going to punch it in the head with your right hand. Yep. So here's the deal with that. You attack wrong. No, that's it. So that's one of the big jokes about traditional karate. Is I have a defense, and you're supposed to step with one body. Step with one body. Ah, see? And instead, you punch attack. And I go, no, you attacked wrong. I mean, you critique the attack. You don't get to pick what the attacker is going to do. But you can analyze what's likely to happen. So if I'm going to punch him in the head, about half the time, I'm going to have my opposite foot in front. And the other half of the time, I'm going to have the same foot in front. In both cases, I will always be off balance coming forward. Even boxers, people that train, they think, okay, I got him. Whoa, they're off balance going forward. So he's going to use that to his advantage by stepping in. 1, 2, right? But it wouldn't matter. If I start this way, or I start this way, they're both equally defined. He just has to adapt as he goes. So anyway, punch him in the head. A little closer. 1, 2, pull, push. Good, nice stretch there. And then go. Punch it in there. Put a little more effort into it. Let go. Punch it. Oh, that was better. Let go. Let go. Get the idea? Great. He's going to punch you. You're going to start with your left leg in front. because this is a more defensive position. You could be the foot, but most people are going to want to use the left hand for blocking and the right hand for hitting. So that's kind of the way you're built. So he punches, cover. Oh, you step backwards. No, 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 no. He punches, step your foot out, your hand up. You go 1, forward, yes. You're going to slide down his arm, step forward, rising block. Pretty good. Grab here. We can practice wrist. And then twist it this way. Your drawing arm does. And then like this week. Now let go. He's going to punch. Block. Step forward, step through. There you go. Let go. Block. Now, as you step forward, see if you can hit this knee, either hit this knee or that knee. So you step forward, hit that knee. There you go. And then rising block up into his head. Pull this in tight so you can't get it out of there. Let go. He throws a punch. 1, 2. Step through him. You're just doing rising blocks. Yep. Pull down. 1 more. He punches. Block. Step. Strike. Pull out. Yep. So this is always your drawing arm, your hikite. It says pulling hand in Japanese. And you are, if you punch with me, you're covering this way for a hook, which is actually fine. That's a type of arm wrap. What I usually have beginners do is after you punch, after I get this strike, I'm going to slide to here and learn to push-pull this way. You feel the, and that's just standing there. It's no hit at all. So there's one more explanation before we go. The problem with karate is that it has become an art of precision, right? These 2 knuckles are going to hit this target, and we're both moving around, and I got to do it with 100% commitment. And in law enforcement, when you teach training techniques, there is a guideline that they call the 10-10-40-40 rule. It says 10% of the time when you apply a technique in the street that you practiced in the gym, in the dojo, you'll be exactly on target. 10% of the time you will miss completely, nowhere near your intended target. 40% of the time you'll be off a little bit to one side, 40% of the time you'll be off a little bit to the other side. So your chances of success are very, very small. This is one of the most mobile points. He can pick his chin up, his head up, move his head around, pick his arms up. You miss all the time. So what can I do to increase my chances of success? I can increase the size of the target. Anything from his collarbone to the top of his head counts. I can increase the size of my weapon. Anything from my little knuckle to my elbow counts. So he throws the punch, and 1, 2. How can I miss? His head can't go anywhere. It's attached to his body. I can hit his neck, his jaw, his ear, the side of his head. Use the bone here. Use that bone. Use your forearm. Use your elbow. So part of making karate practical is making your weapons big, gross motor weapons. So these motions are using your forearms to strike with, not the precision blocks that people taught. The leg lifts, every time you do one of these, using your shin, your knee, the top of the foot to hit with. So you may have seen concepts go like this. Punch or grab or something. Here's my leg lift. Whoa, whoa. This is an attack. Out here, across, inside and across, up into the groin. 1, 2. Big gross motor movement. All right, we are done now. Just an informal about it. And thank you all for training. Class dismissed. Thank you. More people will be here Wednesday, so please come back. You lived through the first lesson? It was a lot for one day.